Driving impressions for the 2018 Stelvio Quadrifoglio are embargoed until March, but we still wanted to be the first to bring you all the details and show you the car. So here we go. You hear that? That's a Stelvio Quadrifoglio going down the straight at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. And behind me is the 2018 Stelvio Quadrifoglio, which Alfa Romeo says is the world's fastest SUV. But how do you make one of the fastest SUVs in the world? This video is all about the technical details with the brand new Stelvio. You might be asking yourself, is this the fastest SUV in the world? How can that be? What about the Grand Cherokee Trackhawk or the Lamborghini SUV? Well, Alfa Romeo is measuring it with the Nürburgring lap time, which is 7 minutes 51.7 seconds, which is faster than a lot of exotic sports cars out there. And just today, they announced their latest 0 to 60 time. They've done more testing, and the number is 3.6 seconds 0 to 60. So let's see how this works. How do I look? Oh yeah, now I'm in the zone. This is a 2.9 liter twin turbocharged V6 with 505 horsepower that comes in at 6,500 RPM and 443 pound-feet of torque that's available as low as 2,500 RPM. Behind that monster engine is an 8-speed automatic transmission, no dual clutch here. It has a torque converter and it's heavier duty, more robust than the one in the regular Stelvio. Okay, so you got a fast crossover that weighs over 4,300 pounds. How do you stop it? And how do you actually make it handle? Well, you got these brakes, which are the standard brakes on this Quadrifoglio, 390 millimeters in diameter. For an extra $8,000, you can step up to a carbon ceramic brake package, which is actually larger, 398 millimeters, which is about 15.6 inches in diameter. Gigantic brakes. You can customize your caliper color, which these are 6-piston calipers up front. And for the tires, this is a 20-inch by 9 wide wheel in the front with a Pirelli P0. And in the rear, it's a 20-inch by 10. So staggered wheel size. And that's a lot of rubber to put this power down. Well, I wanted to hit some numbers with you.
Sure.
So the Stelvio Quadrifoglio starts around $80,000 before destination.
Yep.
But what options and kind of what pricing is there for the car?
Right, so we start at $79,995 and it's already a very well-equipped vehicle, so for that reason we only have a handful of options. We have our carbon ceramic brake package for $8,000. We have our driver assistance dynamic package, which includes your adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, and auto high beam. That's $1,200. On the inside, we have a carbon fiber steering wheel that retails for $400. Our Sparkle racing seats, which are $3,500. Dual pane sunroof for $1,350, and you can also choose metallic or tri-coat paints.
What does it compete against?
Well, the only vehicles in market right now that are over 400 horsepower within the premium midsize utility vehicle segment is the Porsche with the Macan. Mercedes has announced their GLC 63 line, the AMG with the S package in the coupe form, but they haven't brought that to market yet. So, I mean, we're really looking to be going up against the Mercedes when they're in market, as well as the Macan. And we're one of the few people who will be in market this year.
The Quadrifoglio has this unique quad exhaust system, and it has now 4 driving modes. There's a DNA system that you can find in other Stelvios, but there's an R for race setting, and that can turn off all of the driver aids, stability control systems. And in race mode, this exhaust just really opens up and really sounds amazing.
All the sound that you feel from this vehicle is genuine sound. There is no
augmented or
there's nothing
enhanced.
Enhanced. There's no enhanced. It's all coming from the or intake or the exhaust. We just open the valve in different a different RPM.
Okay.
And in race mode, they are always open. So also when you are at idle or you're going very low speed, you can hear the power of the engine by the sound.
To get a pretty quick track car, you gotta have a good chassis. And in this case, the Stelvio sits 7.9 inches off the ground, which is a little bit lower than a regular Stelvio. And the curb weight of this one is 4,367 pounds, which is heavier than the regular Stelvio, and also 477 pounds heavier than the Giulia Quadrifoglio. But this has a faster 0 to 60 time because of this all-wheel drive system that lets it get more traction to the ground. The all-wheel drive system can put 100% of power to the rear or up to 60% to the front. So I heard this and I want to see if this is true. So it can actually shut down one of its banks for efficiency?
Yep, so it does have cylinder deactivation that you will notice in the advanced efficiency mode, so the A on the DNA setting.
Okay.
So under certain conditions when it calls for it, we'll shut down the cylinders to maximize fuel efficiency.
And what are the EPA ratings?
Yep, so we're a 17 city, 23 highway, and 19 combined.
The Quadrifoglio has a unique interior. There's plenty of carbon fiber, real carbon fiber touches throughout. There's a leather upper. And these standard seats are actually really good bolstering to hold you in place. And there's also a carbon fiber option which removes weight because these seats are actually power adjustable, while the carbon seat is actually manual adjusted, so you can remove a little bit of extra weight.
New for this vehicle, we have the first introduction of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for the Alfa Romeo lineup in the Stelvio Quadrifoglio to the main Alfa Romeo menu, but I can go back into Apple CarPlay here. And if I want to move within Apple CarPlay, just turning it here, I can go to a 3D map here. Let's see what that looks like. Oh,
changes the
changes the format there. Yep. So it's very nice. And then destinations, I can go over here. Different locations. So we go to the car menu here. You can go to the car status, so you can see the functionality here of the tires. Look over to maintenance, when my next scheduled maintenance is.
Okay.
How the oil level's doing. Yep, an efficient drive. So you can look at how you're doing in terms of your fuel economy drive as well.
If you cared about such things.
If such things matter to you. You got the user's manual, so you have the full user manual here, and also your compass, in case you needed that.
So I want to quickly touch on how the Stelvio compares to the Giulia Quadrifoglio models. So how does the coefficient of drag play out?
Yeah, so on the Giulia it's 0.31, and then on the Stelvio Quadrifoglio it's 0.34. So not that big of a difference for a vehicle that's a bit taller and has a different aero.
So the SUV, I mean, the Stelvio has a little bit lower top speed. I mean, for a lot of people, that's kind of, nobody's going to reach 76 miles an hour.
Right. I mean, not many people are going to get there, but yeah, it's a little bit less than it is on the.
I think he just got there.
I think he almost hit it. Yeah, it's not quite what it is, and naturally that's because this vehicle with its all-wheel drive system is a little bit heavier, and then it doesn't quite have the aerodynamics as the Giulia. But I mean, this vehicle is still pulling over a G in lateral acceleration, so pretty impressive for a utility vehicle.
.505 horsepower, 8-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive system with a torque vectoring rear end, 50-50 weight distribution, gigantic brakes, Pirelli P0 tires. Those are parts of the recipe that make it the world's fastest SUV, at least at the Nürburgring. Go back to tflcar.com for more news, views, and real-world reviews, and of course, a lot more technical deep dives like this.